Okay, so I asked you all, is Tisha disliked due to colorism? Yes or no? 5% of you all said yes, and 95% of you all said no. And I just feel like this is one of them things where it's like the victim thing. Like, don't nobody, I don't believe, dislike Tisha because she's dark skinned. It's her actions, the things that she does, the things she does not take any accountability for, any responsibility for, right? She throws rocks and hides her hands. She copies and pastes. She has imposter syndrome. She got all these degrees and not a lick of common sense. I mean, I'm just saying, listen, you know? And Tisha is a beautiful woman. Her and Miss Wanda. So, yeah, sometimes in life, people just don't like you. It's not about how you look. They don't like your ways. It is what it is, right? So one person says, whichever way the wind blows, Tisha goes. She's all over the place. She needs to start liking herself before anyone else. Another person says, colorism is still an issue in our community, but we don't get to use it as an excuse for our own behavior issues against others. In Tisha's case, it's the way she acts. I told y'all. People blaming colorism for how people feel about Tisha takes away from the real discussions we need to have in the Black community. Absolutely. Tisha and Wanda are colorists and it shows. Another person says Wanda is the biggest colorist there is. I mean, I did do that video where she was like, Melody is light-skinned and can't keep a man. And then this kind of leads me back to the question I asked you all in the community tab. Let me get to it. Listen. Let me get to it. I asked you all, who are the biggest group of pick-me's? I was having a discussion with somebody and they picked out a certain group of women. I want to see if y'all pick the same one. So, 5% of the pick-me's are light-skinned, 6% dark-skinned, 1% brown-skinned, 4% white women. And then the option was color doesn't matter. Being a pick-me is behavior oriented. And I agree with that, I think, the most. You can't really pin it to just one specific hue, right? But the person said that dark-skinned women are the biggest pick-me's. And I was like, wow. You know, I just was like, wow. You know, yeah, it was just crazy. And I'm looking at like Ariane Curry. I'm looking at how Tisha acts. Well, Kimmy won too. She light skinned. So that, you know, Destiny kind of looked like one. I mean, I'm just saying, listen, I don't know. It's something about Destiny that feels like, well, I'm not anybody until I get with a man, you know, and even if I have to have him long distance, you know, I need to be attached to a man. It looks like that. It looked like Kimmy over there bending over and taking it. Tisha, she over there, child, in her burning house. No office. The man can't get up to say a few kind words. The man don't bring you to Africa the first time around, you and them cheering. Okay, like, he always gets to you last. He invites Melody out on y'all dates, and the dates are at y'all establishment. They're not, like, out at a restaurant, and he doing picnics in the house on y'all carpet. Like, make it make sense. Listen. So, I mean, look at Miss Wanda, a husband and a boyfriend. Okay, so, child, I think anybody, though, can be a pick-me, right? So, yeah. What do y'all think about what that person said? A mess. all a mess, honey. But let's get to something else. Listen. Okay, so let's get to Carlos King's interview that I posted in the community tab. It was with Sheridan. I liked her. I thought that this was a really good interview. She's a raindrop. Okay? So let's get off into it. Oh, Carlos mentioned that he was inspired by Teen Summit. That used to be hosted by Ananda Lewis. You know, the really pretty woman that looked like Chili a little bit. And Seth was on, in that self-expression teen theater, honey. They was on Teen Summit, and y'all know I used to be in Seth, but I wasn't in Seth at the time they were there. But honey, Miss Robinson was still associated. She was in the building. Okay, listen, because I carried the torch after that, honey. Yeah, so look at me and Carlos. I like that show. I like Teen Summit because they would talk about different issues, birth control, pregnancy, sex, relationships. It was a special place for teens. And I was in a group that was affiliated with all those things. That's all we did. Talk about sex, educate youth on, birth control, just don't do drugs, don't do this, and, just really be a good steward, honey, in your community. So, yes. Oh, and another quick fact. I know, some of y'all rolling your eyes and sucking your teeth. Seth was also on BET. They played this show that we did. I believe it was in Columbus, Ohio. So, because I remember my brother said, Brandy, this weekend I was at home and you were on BET. I was like, huh? What you talking about? No, sis, I told my friends and everybody you was on BET. You was on there. Seth was on there. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm famous. Now, where my money at? Okay. Where them coins at? Listen. Carlos shouted out Portia and Tamar, the two women that need to sit their ass down in the name of love. Okay? Like, child, y'all need to just sit down. Okay? A Pisces and a motherfucking Cancer. And the dark-sided ones. Ooh, I should put them heifers together for a little birthday reading. Okay, still to come on the birthday readings, we have Funky Dineva and Fox Soul and the Braxton. So, honey, I'm gonna get to it. Okay, listen, it's still coming. It's funny he shouted both of them out for journalism, but both of them are more known for their personal life than like their career. And I feel like when that happens to you as an artist, as a creative, as somebody on TV, I feel like you really need to get a hold of yourself, right? Because I feel like Portia and Tamar, they need some help. Okay? They need, somebody to lay hands up at the church. Okay? Listen. I like that he talked about how he wanted to, be a talk show host, because I really related to that. I always wanted to have my own talk show. So, it was just nice to hear that this has always been a dream come true for him, and he's a black man, a black gay man that, he overcame all the odds, right? Okay, so Sheridan asks Carlos, do you think the breaking of the fourth wall is destroying reality TV? And Carlos says, I think a little bit of that, but I think it's more of this. The reality star that plays up to the social media audience. Did you hear that? Who would that be? He gotta be talking about Mel. He gotta be talking about Mel. Gotta be. Because I really do think that that is a issue for him on Love and Marriage Huntsville. We have never heard this much about the mellometers. Never. They were never a storyline. They were always, Mel's fan base. They've been around, but if you notice, there's a lot more focus on them this year. And they're going to have their own little spot at that reunion. And everybody, Kimmy, Destiny, Letitia, Stormy, they all go get on Melody about her fans. It's coming. And Martell will be there to say, I told y'all how she is. I remember hearing Martell say something about Melody. I think when they were down to Neil and Chris's house, he said, yeah, you throw all the rocks and you hide your hands and you play the victim and screaming and yelling at her and just a mess. So I don't like any of this. This is it's just too much. To me, it's so much other stuff we need to be focused on. Like Martell, you need to be focused on your damn case, okay? Mr. Harassing Communications, okay? So, and I do not like that Stormy related her situation, with that content creator to what Martell said, because he said, yeah, she got me arrested for harassing communications, and now you're trying to trauma bond with Martell, who is a known narcissist. He is no victim. Y'all are acting like this terrorist is a good person. He's not a good person. All that lying and cheating on his wife for all them years and making excuses for it, and the hell he has put her through up until now, it's crazy. So y'all look stupid talking to that man. Because when y'all asked, you and Destiny, Stormy, when y'all was over there with Melody, y'all wasn't fucking with Martell. And that's what people do. Because once they align with your ex, now it's fuck you. Okay? So I'm either over here or over there. That's the game that they playing. And you have all these people being messy, trying to conflate all of their experiences with Melody to prove that they are right due to there being a strength in numbers. Okay? It's crazy. Carlos talked about some audience members take it way too far. He talking about the mellometers, and there are people that take it way too far. That's why I be telling y'all, don't give them a reason. Don't. That's the last thing you want to do. Okay? Online bullying of other cast members, Kimmy, Tisha, Martell. They didn't name no names, but I named them. Those are the people, right? You even have what Miss Nail said. Add that to the pot. That's why that was messed up for her to say that. And Melody said she felt like somebody told Miss Nail to say that. But this is the thing. You could tell them, no, I'm not going to say that. If I feel that way about my friend, if I feel like this show is going to her head and her fan base is going to her head, I'm going to have a private conversation with her. When people do shit out in the public, they are being manipulative. That way, there's an audience and they can, talk about a situation that they know nothing about, but they're just seeing it play out with their eyes and they don't know. Okay? So all of this is, I don't know, it's giving like this weird energy. So Carlos, I hope at that reunion, in your words, y'all have a real conversation about what's really going on. What are y'all really mad at? Okay? And is everything Melody fault? Or are we not holding other people accountable and responsible for their actions? Reality stars placating to the audience comes across as inauthentic. Okay? If you want to tell people that it's production that pays for the trips, that's okay. He's talking about somebody very specific. Sheridan mentioned Funky Dineva's interview with Carlos King. Yeah, that was a really good interview. So they get to talking about Carlos King and Funky Dineva, talking about the word messy. So Sheridan says that Carlos was not being called messy until season 9 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. So the backstory with that is it was Carlos King that told Phaedra that Candy and Todd wanted to, do some things to Portia in their house or something. We'll just put it like that. So, and then that's what caused Phaedra to get allegedly fired from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, that whole story was cleared up in the Real Housewives of Atlanta book with Dave Quinn, Andy Cohen, and all of them, right? Go and read it. So they talk about Messy Mondays is a conflict of interest for Carlos. He should just stick to his interviewing. They talk about Carlos focusing on his shows and how he shouldn't talk about them. Then Carlos was like, that's what I used to get dragged about. Talking about Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac. Now I'm focusing on my shows. Now there's still a problem. And I agree with him when it comes to that. He can't win, for losing, when it comes to that. I like him talking about the shows because it gives you, it just gives you information about what was going on at that time and how certain stuff should go. And, I will say this though, right? My issue with Carlos is more or less like how he does black male and female marriages and relationships, like how they are shown, how they are perceived. I just feel like it's getting very low value, low quality. I don't like that. If anything bothers me about Carlos, right? Because I don't really, I like Carlos. I told y'all that. I don't have a hatred for him. He does things that I don't like, but so do a lot of people, But yeah, I don't like the marriages on Bail Collective. I think I like Aikisha's. I don't like nobody else's relationship. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it need to be on TV. I don't want to see Glenn again. I'm sick of niggas like Martell. That is my issue. That is more or less my issue with Carlos, because I just don't know. I feel like as black people, we need to try to protect our legacy, and we need to be in control of putting better images out there of ourselves. And nobody's relationship or marriage is perfect, but if it's toxic to the point where it clearly looked like the man don't love the woman and he just gotta cheat. I don't like all these men cheat. I don't like that. I feel like it just is a very, I don't know. It makes people give up on black love because it's way too many toxic images, but it's just that's what I don't like. So Carlos feels like any other host can talk about their shows, interview people about it, and some of that is true. You know, a lot of people say he's trying to be like Andy Cohen, but I'm proud that Carlos is a black man out here really trying to do it. I think he just needs to watch what he's doing, who he's doing it with, how much he does what he does. You know, I think he needs to get more intentional about what he is doing. You know, like just get more in tune with your intentions. What image or are you really trying to put out there about black male and female relationships? And in the words of Heavenly, everybody's marriage is not fucked up. So it's like, why do we time after time, we keep seeing all these broke down marriages and relationships that don't nobody want except the people that are in them, and then call us jealous and call us crazy because we trying to break up a black family that's already broken down, put in lowest terms. Okay, so I don't know. No one calls white gay men messy who do the same things I do. That's true, you know. It's true. I don't have a argument because I do feel like people feel like, yeah, Andy is cool and Andy is the only one that we need more Carloses. We need more black people in the business with power. That way, you know, our people are not out here being abused and taken advantage of in these contracts and with treatment and money. Look at how they blackballed Nene. And that's the thing in life. You shouldn't get blackballed just because you are talking about your experience. Yeah, she shouldn't have called them racist. How dare she do that? If that's her experience, coward. Shit, what should she do? Like, get out of here. Well, she want to go back to the same network that is not paying her and that was treating her wrong, and where else should she go? She tried to go other places and y'all blocked those bags, or the projects are not right. Like these projects that Nene has been doing, they're not as good. They're not on the level of the shit that she used to do. She used to do shit on Broadway, you know, NBC shows, and like she used to do her comedy tour. She used to really do a lot of stuff. And the Zeus and all this other shit is just not it. Baddies, reunion, she looks so out of place. They fighting and shit. They like real, it's like Bravo shows ain't never been like that. Yeah, they fight and stuff, but it's more like a build up. It looked like if somebody look at you the wrong way on them baddies reunions, you gonna get your ass whooped. It's just crazy. The Lifetime show was not good. It just was. Nene is a star that has to have freedom. She's a Sagittarius. That's part of being a Sagittarius, having unlimited freedom to be able to do what you want to do and not be judged. And on Lifetime, they wanted to have Nene in a box. They just wanted her to be reading lines, and it just wasn't her best work. It was work, you know, and I'm sure she had to do what she had to do, but it just wasn't hitting on nothing. You know, they blackballed this woman for years. She and her husband was sick and was dying. She had to deal with all of that. She had to deal with a lot of shit. She got other housewives trying to block her bag. Portia, her stinking ass, her male identified ass. Kenya out here talking shit. And the same shit, you know, she was out here dragging Nene on that interview with Carlos. Yeah, the house is in foreclosure. The house that she built on Bravo, it's in foreclosure. It's in foreclosure for you too. See, that's why you gotta watch the shit that you say about other people. It could come back to bite you in the ass. So, yeah, so crazy. But, yeah, like Candy and them, everybody, YouTubers, you know, she ain't shit. She's so nasty. She's so rude. These the same people that like Kenya. Okay? That like Kenya, that swear up and down Kenya is so innocent with everything. And yeah, she can disrespect people. Yeah, she can get expose Tanya's man for cheating, and then you want us to feel sorry for her when Mark is dogging her ass. Okay? And Kenya did that stuff with Tanya just because Tanya put out there, you wear wigs, but I have a beauty brand. Girl. I heard the little spot, it's not even open and stuff. Eva was down to the Breakfast Club. She was trying to promote it. I'm like, this shit ain't even open. Because she, I guess, got terminated from Housewives. So, and I told y'all I supported Kenya in her business. I was proud of her, but damn, like you talked all that shit about Nene like you was so much better, like you was so much smarter, like your I's was dotted and your T's was crossed, and none of what happened to Nene would happen to you. Y'all mocked this lady, judged and ridiculed her for speaking out. She should be more like Candy. She should be more agreeable. She should be more like this. She should be more like that. All she could do is fucking be Nene. But Nene is a fighter, though. She really is. I respect her. They talk about, is it editing when you look good? Now, I was wondering about who he was talking about with that, because he was saying some very specific things. But he said that there are cast members, he didn't say of what show, that throw him under the bus to say, oh, I look good in the scene. Oh, I did good. That was me. That wasn't Carlos. That was all me. And then, oh, I look bad. Oh, that was editing. And that was Carlos. And he made it look like this. And he was like, oh, so when you look good, you go take the credit for it. And then when you look bad, you'll blame me. Very specific. Sheridan adds, adults have to take responsibility for adults. So, Sheridan asks Carlos, why are we focusing more on the interviews than the reviews? I think people like the interviews more. He is, trying to be friends with all these people. I don't think you could be friends with all these girls. It's just impossible, but he's friends with the girls, and, I think that they may say they cool with some of the stuff that he says, but they may get in their feelings, and it may get in between, his relationships with some of them. Some of the girls on Real Housewives of Atlanta, Potomac, He said he still, though, plans on reviewing Potomac, Atlanta, Married to Medicine. I guess him and Heavenly will still do that together. Nene Leakes was Sheridan's, favorite interview from Carlos. I agree. Nene is the one that he should take it more seriously, have the people in person instead of on Zoom. So Nene was very observant, and let Carlos know this is what works. This is what, it ain't gonna work. Nene was like, yeah, honey, I'm too big to be on Zoom. I know that's right. But I like some of his Zoom interviews, too. Number 2, Kenya Moore was her favorite. I didn't like Kenya's like that. Y'all know how I feel about Kenya. I don't know. I just don't feel like she's authentic, I liked his interview with... Who else can I give it to? I like Funky Dineva. I even like the one he did with Claudia. I felt like that was good. I don't care nothing about them Love and Hip Hop people, so I will never pick none of them. Although I want you to interview Carlos Jessica Dime. Now that would be good. Maybe even Mimi. I care about those two. Rashida, her stupid self, still over there being cheated on by Kirk. Now he's triangulating the baby mama, Jasmine. Child, a mess. And Rashida, your ass is still over there. Like, girl, if you ain't going nowhere, okay? If you ain't going nowhere, shut up. Oh, they talked about his interview with Tammy Roman. I want him to interview Evelyn, that heifer. Ask her why she jumping on tables and over there stirring the pot over there down to the basketball wives, to the basketball bullies. Child, basketball wives was a mess. I like that Jackie still supported Brandy's event that she had for her son. I really like that. And that's what I like about Jackie, because she can, she can argue with them girls, cuss they ass out, get in her feelings, but she knows how to be mature, take one for the team. Evelyn talking about they have a sisterhood. Girl, ain't no sister. Y'all are not sisters, okay? And Brandy, you need to just leave your husband and stop, stop acting like that man is a good thing for you, because it's not. I could tell by how it seemed like she's trauma bonded with him, and she's afraid to, be on her own terms. She done booked a movie. That's really good. She's doing her cooking. I've seen some growth from Brandy this season, right? So, yeah. I think that there was some truth to what Evelyn said. That's why it hurts so much that you're just putting up a facade when it comes to you and Jason's marriage. You're not okay, Brandy, with all that cheating. It still hurts you when these ladies weaponize what he did to you. But I feel like you are coming into your own. You don't need Jason anymore, and you don't know how to really tell him that, but you need to just tell him that and move on. Okay? Because I feel like you are always working on your relationship. Always. And that has to be exhausting. But yeah, she want him to stay in Texas. Where is he at? I forgot. He is handsome. I will give Brandy that. That man is fine, honey. He is sexy. Okay? But he a mess. He a fool. He a hood booger. Okay. Ugh. Oh, they're going to be talking to Jennifer at the reunion about her marrying that man, and her and Brandy go get into it, even though Evelyn and the girls. Did y'all see Evelyn's cryptic post she put out there about Jennifer marrying that man, even though, God was sending her the signs, symptoms, and warnings that he may not be the man for her? But I think that Jennifer is caught up in the he looked like Chris Brown of it all. And I think she really likes this man, and, she loves him. So it's like, no matter what we say, it's like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, But Jennifer, girl, you ain't going to learn until you have to pay that man bills. Okay? So, girl. Whew, Jennifer, honey, she got my daughter's birthday, child. A mess. I hope we ain't got to deal with none of that, because, honey, I can't deal with that. I can't. They talk about how Carlos has the ability to let people talk on his podcast. He said he didn't know that was so special. A lot of people complain that, I remember when I would play audio, oh, you're not letting them talk. It's like we can't please you. We can't please, YT. We can't please them. It's you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. Because if you play a clip just right out, a lot of times they'll be like, you're stealing that person's content, and you're not adding enough commentary to it, and you're not making it your own, and now the video can get flagged. It's just you can't win for losing. You know what I'm saying? So, a mess. But he is right. There are people out here that really do be interviewing people, be cutting them off, making this shit about them. It is annoying. There is that. Carlos King talks about Nene Leakes coming up with her. He says he has watched certain reality stars clap back at people on social media and start losing jobs and opportunities. Carlos says he handles his fame, his notoriety, his celebrity, a lot different than other reality stars. Now, I know a lot of people will disagree with that, honey. They like, child, you still messy, Carlos. But he a Libra. And you know Libra's problem, honey. They just gotta look good. Long as they look good coming out of the situation, they good, okay? So just let him have it, child. Carlos says he believes in one wrong move, you can lose it all. That's true. That is true. You got to pick your battles and, so that is true, child. But yeah, I like that he talked about working, with Nene and a lot of the other girls while they were coming up, getting opportunities, and, he watched them make mistakes. He was behind the scenes at the time, but now he is like, this bona fide public figure. He knows, how to handle certain stuff. And yeah, that's the thing in life. You don't just have to learn from your mistakes. Watch other people's mistakes and say, hey, that's not going to be me. And I want to do something different. And I want to be very intentional about the things, that I do and respond to. Carlos says you can make up stories about him. You could create crazy thumbnails about him. Say his name subliminally or not. Carlos says, honey, y'all is not getting a response out of him. You're just not, honey, okay? And there are a lot of content creators that don't like Carlos. I like him more from a producer standpoint. I think he's genius. I like his podcast. I like his interviewing style. I like him. Don't agree with everything he says and does, okay? And that's with anybody, though. There ain't nobody I 100% agree with all the time, right? Let's see what the people think about Mr. Los. Okay, let's see what the people think. So one person says, I used to go up for Carlos King, but he's a one-trick pony. Drama, drama, drama. He's not taking accountability for the demise of both Love and Marriage Huntsville and Love and Marriage DC. It's a cop-out. Both shows had great potential, but he wanted to be the star too. And not to mention, we do hold white producers accountable for their shows as well. That's why they recast. Carlos shouldn't have recasted Huntsville because both Scotts don't give anything. A lot of his scenes make no sense, but when we critical thinkers put it together, he's mad. He just don't listen to the audience, but he attacked the audience this past season. Why? Portraying mellometers in a certain light after he used the mellometers for his podcast tour. I told y'all. And it wasn't a comedy tour. It was to promote the podcast and the different interviews he was doing with, a lot of the Real Housewives ladies. He never completes his scenes. For instance, what happened to Marceau and Tisha's building projects and what happened to Scolt. Honey, that's more on Tisha and Marceau. Shit, okay? I'm just saying. Listen. And then, honey, they out here trying to create another Freaknik. I'm like, y'all need to quit. Y'all need to quit. What happened to Tisha's children's hairline? What happened to Tisha and Stormi's beef? Why didn't we see Stormi's loss of canvas beauty and rebuilding process? Maybe she didn't want to show it. Why is Maurice and Kimmy still here? Why didn't they film the Fletchers coming out and telling her truth about Nell? Why haven't we seen Moses and Sonny's businesses? Their in vitro process. What's going on with Destiny's divorce? Why did he bring her back for drama? Because she don't give nothing else but lies. That's why this show is going down. Too many frauds and too many lies. Another person says, what is it with people that believe and trust Carlos King? He hates women, in my opinion. And again, using another woman to talk is about the show. Carlos can't take these people to the next level. Can't figure out why they don't call him out on his BS. Another person says, can we get an interview with Candy Burris Tucker? Let's get her take on the King of Chaos and how he stole from her. Another person says, Melody standing on business. She's the only person on the show that's giving reality. Another person says, I see the mellow meters have brought their funky butts over here with negativity, and it was a great interview. Keep doing what you do. Another person says, this was an amazing interview, and I love how you spoke up about reality TV today in general and not a specific show or individual. Another person says, the difference is it's your own people calling you messy, and the Bravo and other stations' majority fans are their people, in which they are not like how our people are amongst each other. Some of that is true, yeah. So, yeah, I felt like it was a really good interview, but I felt like he was specific, and I feel like he's kind of fed up with some things. But I feel like he doesn't want, people to know about it fully. Another person says, are you suggesting that the Love and Marriage Huntsville cast isn't being genuine when a show centers mainly around one couple's issues and only briefly touches on the rest of the cast's lives? This is the result. And if the implication is that Melody is the one playing things up for the audience, her camera, I'd argue she's just doing what she has to do to survive on a show where she's the only one being targeted by her ex-husband, the mistress, cast members, moms, and bloggers. A normal person wouldn't have survived such a negative experience. It's unfair to suggest playing up for the camera when it was her story, tears, authenticity that brought viewers to anything Carlos is producing now. I hope if any future producer sees this comment, I hope you use it as a cautionary tale of how not to treat your casts. So what do y'all think about that, honey? All right, you guys, that's all I have to say about all of this, honey. Get down in the comments. Let me know, what you thought about the video. Share it in Carlos, this interview. And I will check you guys out in the next video.